What I wish I knew before buying an antique mirror. They don't just reflect your face, they can hold secrets, memories, and sometimes something far more sinister. In a quiet, fog-shrouded town, there's an antique shop, barely noticeable between two abandoned buildings. The kind of place you might walk past 100 times without ever noticing. Inside, forgotten relics gather dust. Each item has a story, a past, and perhaps a lingering presence. Among them, an old ornate mirror with dark wooden carvings, roses entangled with thorns. Its frame seemed to pulse with a life of its own, drawing Mia closer. Mia, a curious newcomer, stumbles upon this shop on a rainy afternoon. The rain had driven her inside, seeking shelter and distraction. The old shopkeeper warns her about the mirror, calling it the whispering glass. His eyes, filled with a mix of fear and sadness, hinted at untold stories. Mia brushes it off as a sales trick and buys the mirror. She couldn't resist its allure, the way it seemed to call out to her. She hangs it in her dimly lit apartment. The mirror fit perfectly, almost as if it had always belonged there. That night, faint whispers filled the room. They were soft at first, like a distant conversation just out of earshot. Mia thinks it's the wind. She tries to ignore it, convincing herself it's just her imagination, but then she sees it. The reflection isn't matching her movements. Her heart races as she realizes something is terribly wrong. While she stands still, her reflection tilts its head and smiles slowly. A smile that wasn't hers, a smile that sent chills down her spine. Over the next few nights, the whispers grow louder, forming words. Let me in. The words echoed in her mind, haunting her every thought. Shadows dance behind her in the reflection, but when Mia turns around, the room is empty. The shadows seem to have a life of their own, mocking her. Determined to understand, Mia researches its history. She spends hours poring over old books and records, desperate for answers. She discovers it belonged to a woman in the 1800s, rumored to have made a dark pact. The woman's eyes in the portrait seem to follow her, filled with secrets. The mirror traps souls, reflecting not reality, but its own desires. It was a prison, a gateway, and a trap all in one. Mia decides to cover the mirror. She hoped that by hiding it she could silence the whispers and reclaim her peace. But the whispers don't stop. They grew more insistent, more desperate, as if the mirror was fighting back. One night she wakes up. The cloth is on the floor and her reflection is missing. Panic sets in as she realizes the mirror's power is growing. In its place, the dark, empty room devoid of color. It was a void, a place where light and hope could not exist. Slowly, a pale hand reaches out, tapping on the glass. The sound was soft, yet it echoed like a thunderclap in the silence. Then the whispers stopped. The silence was more terrifying than the whispers, a calm before the storm. Her phone lights up, a photo from an unknown number. Her hands tremble as she opens the message. It's Mia sleeping, taken from inside the mirror. The realization hits her like a punch to the gut. She is never alone. The screen cuts to black as the mirror begins to crack from the inside. The final sound is a shattering scream as the mirror's true nature is revealed.